Yeah, y'all can come on in here because I'm going to tell the truth. Look, I need everybody to share this live that's coming in because I'm gonna let the truth be known. I've been quiet for a long time and out the way and minding my business, but it ain't going to let me rest. So I'm going to have to tell the truth.
Tonight, communities across our area are mourning the loss of Pastor Aquarius Green. Though the shooting happened in Level Plains, Green was widely known in Montgomery for his ministry and outreach.
Pastor Green, he was human, right? He was a man of God, he was a father, he was a husband, hard worker. He did not deserve to die.
Authorities say no charges have been filed at this time. However, the investigation is still ongoing.
In a small town in Alabama, a pastor by the name of Aquarius Green was known for turning a room of despair into a room of hope. However, his bright light would be extinguished after a DV incident that devastated and shattered his entire congregation. The man who spoke behind the pulpit every Sunday was allegedly unalived by his wife, while his daughter was right there and saw the whole incident. The pastor's murder has exposed the painful truth that trauma can also hide behind a smile and a Sunday suit. As the story surrounding Pastor Green's shocking murder continues to unfold, one of his close friends is breaking our silence. With emotions running high and questions unanswered, her words will add a powerful layer to a tragedy that has already rocked the church world. Before we listen to what the friend says led up to the murder, this appeared to be a blended family that did not blend well. Pastor Green had a daughter from a previous marriage, and his wife, Quinteria Green, had 2 sons from previous marriages, and they had a son together. However, his daughter was the one that witnessed and saw her father being shot in the head. Since this horrendous tragedy has unfolded, many people have spoken about many lies and things that they don't believe are true, saying that the pastor never committed DV and that his estranged wife allegedly plotted and planned on his life. But on the flip side, those who say they know the First Lady well said she would never do anything to harm the pastor on purpose. In the 2 years or so that the couple were together, it appears that a lot of turmoil came from the situation, and the pastor would end up being arrested on 3 different occasions for DV. However, he was never charged for anything, and all of the cases were dropped against him. The only people who truly knew what took place behind those walls was the Green family and whoever else they told. And unfortunately, one of those people, Pastor Green, is not here any longer to tell his side of the story. So here's what family on both sides of the situation have to say about what took place and what went down.
So just hold on till we get some people up in here. But I'm sure finna tell the truth. I'm gonna air everything out. Everything. So I'm airing everything out. And I know everything. So people can say what they want to say, but I'm going to tell the truth. So please share live. Let's go and get this live popping so we can get a couple of viewers up in here. And I'm going to tell my friend Peace. He ain't here to do it. But guess what? Shan is. Shan is. So I'm going to tell the truth. So please share the live, and I'm going to air it out. I'm going to air it out on this so-called First Lady. We going to air the truth out. I'm going to tell it all. He ain't here to justify and, save himself. So guess what? I'm going to do it for him. He in a better place right now. He in a better place. Our prayers are welcome. Positive mindsets. Positive mindsets. I'm going to air everybody out, including the church. Because the church need to be in it too. And I'm telling you, my heart was set so bad today till I started to go into the church. I started to see, was they even having church service? And my friend just passed yesterday. So, guess what? He ain't got to worry. I'm going to do it for him. I'm going to do it for him. So, I'm going to air everything out. So, please share this live. I'm going to let it be known. I'm going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And anybody can come and check me because get what? Shan got all receipts. Shan will never lie. One thing about me, anybody going to say, oh, she going to say it. And guess what? I've been out of it. I ain't been beefing with feuding with nobody about the situation on social media because I'm tired of people lying. So guess what? I'm going to take up for my friend and I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. Men be in domestic violence situations too. Men being verbally abusive in situations like that too. He ain't do nothing but be good to that woman. So guess what? He ain't here to talk up for it. All the stuff he covered up and nobody ever knew. Since the church and everybody want to check up on. Ain't nobody checking up on this murder. Y'all lost y'all damn minds. I sit back And I've been hearing everybody say all the stuff, and, you know, everybody know Aquarius was a good dude. That little man wouldn't hurt a butterfly. He wouldn't hurt a butterfly. Ugh. But I'm going to air it out. So let's let this live get up a little bit more so we can go ahead and air it out and tell the truth. Guess what? Justice for DQ, y'all. Justice for the Aquarius. Because he didn't deserve what that woman did to him. And it was all premeditated. And it all added up. And guess what? People can run around saying whatever they want. But at the end of the day, if you don't know the truth, if you wasn't there, guess what? There's nothing you can say. It's nothing you can say. But guess what? She did it in front of his kids. She did it in front of his daughter. And she was wrong. All he did was love her and them piss-ass boys she got. You know, he took up for them when they daddies ran out and they didn't want nothing to do with them. Guess what? She ain't gonna tell it today. She ain't gonna tell it today. Yeah, I'm live. And, you know, I had to work. And I worked myself through it because I'm heartbroken and I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. But please share this live because I'm going to tell the whole truth. The whole truth about this person everybody thinks such a good person. I don't care about her sister and them on Facebook feud. Everybody know I don't feud with nobody. I'm not finna feud with you. I'm not finna give you the energy. I'm not finna give you the oxygen. And when I'm on here, I ain't on here to do none of that with nobody. So whoever got something to say, don't go say it to me, say it to your mammies. Because guess what? I'm going to tell my friend truth. The stuff that he couldn't tell, the stuff that he didn't say, even when people slander his name, talking about he had domestic violence and all type of stuff. Guess what? None of that was true. He ain't never fight or tell nobody none of that. None of that. Look, he ain't never said none of that. He kept it all to himself because he was a praying man. He was a real praying man. A real anointed one from God. Even though he was hurt to his core, he loved his job. She took everything and still was ungrateful. Nothing she done can get to him because guess what? He still prevailed. He still stood on top. He still made his way. He still stood tall. Until she took his life. That's the only thing made it happen. But I'm going to tell the whole story. I'm going to tell y'all who the person is. People running around here trying to justify their actions. No, it wasn't DV. No, he never put his hands on her. He loved his wife. I don't care what nobody say. He never touched his wife. He never put his hands on her. She can go around PTSD, bipolar depression, all that stuff. I got a son that ADHD, bipolar, and schizophrenic. So guess what? They know exactly what they doing. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how nobody feel. I don't care how mama and them feel or nothing, but it's always premeditated. And I'm going to tell the truth today. So let me get a couple of more viewers because my friend's voice need to be heard. And guess what? It's going to come from me and I'm so hurt. God knows I'm hurt. My spirit hurt. My soul hurt because he did not deserve it. The only thing he was guilty of was loving somebody who didn't love him. That's the only thing he was guilty of. Other than that, that man was a good man. She didn't even get my friend there for Father's Day. Now, we going to go and run it. When I get to 170, we going to go ahead and run it. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm going to start with the very first beginning of how they met all the way down. And I'm going to show y'all just how low down this woman was. I'm going to show y'all just how much she hurt my friend to his core. And all he ever did was pray for her. She didn't care about him. She didn't love him. The only thing she wanted to do was be in the limelight, in the publicity. Okay, we're going to start it like this. Guess what? When they first met, she was all in his DM. Begging and just beg and plead him, let me take you on a date. Let me do this, let me do that. And all type of, I see what it is. All type of stuff. She never meant him no good. When they started talking, you know, he was happy. He felt like he found somebody. He felt like, you know, he was falling in love all over again. He felt like she was his everything. Even though she had kids, he only had one. He accepted them just like he accepted himself. Look, it's funny because it's sad because you can't change a person and make them to who you want them to be. You can only accept them for their truth. Now, they separated. And what people don't even understand was during the time she found out she was pregnant, my friend wasn't even with her. He wasn't even with her. He ain't have a clue if the baby was hers or not. And I'm going to tell you why. Want me to tell you why? Because she slept with everybody. She slept with everybody. And I'm going to even call them out. I'm going to hurt everybody. The way I feel, I'm going to tell my friend's story. This need to be in the book. This need to be in the book. Be careful who you choose to love, because the way you love people, when they show you their true colors, get to running like forest. Matrix them. Matrix them. A person can only show you their true character for so long. For so long. And guess what? Everything she ever did to him was nothing but hurt. And all he did was love her. Even when she lied to make him lose his job, everybody at the job, he hit his wife, or the pastor ain't never put his hands on that lady. Look, and I'm trying to keep it nice, because I know he got a lot of spiritual friends, a lot of church buddies, and people that are religious. But my friend lived righteous, and all he did was love his wife. So let's start by this. Okay, from the time they met, she went nothing but trouble from the beginning. She went nothing but trouble from the beginning. He separated from her. He separated from her because all she did was sleep with multiple people. Had him all at bad little kids' basketball games. For the people that know her, they know she had this little boy staying with her. For all I know, she could have been sleeping with him 9 times out of 10. She was, because she was walking around the house with a robe and gowns on. No, make it so bad. She had towels on when she get out the tub. Take the towel off in front of the little boy. The little boy told Aquarius everything. And guess what? Shan was on the phone and hid. Shan was on the phone and hid. He sure did. She had the neighbor's shoes in the house because she was sleeping with the neighbor next door. Nobody know why she got 2 mortgages. I'm going to tell you why she got 2 mortgages, because she couldn't stay where she was staying because she was sleeping with the damn neighbor. Yeah, she was sleeping with the neighbor. On top of the neighbor's shoes on the floor. Look, the Aquarius seen the shoes. She told him that the shoes was the little boy's shoes. The shoes were the little boy's shoes, all at the game, all at the... I know we all not, but it's still respect, so I'm just going to keep it cordial and keep it mannerable, you know, because there's some elderlies on there too. But I'm going to tell the truth. I ain't the little TikTok man and then like that, but I'm going to tell his whole story. So guess what? Okay, during the time she found out she was pregnant, my friend went with her. He went with her. So he was like, I don't know. You know, he was kind of skeptical because she was pregnant so quick. So it was about 3 months in. She called out the blue after they were separated for about 3 months and told him that she was pregnant. You know, she did think the baby was somebody else's. Yes, she did. She did. But then she was telling him, like, no, because the timeline don't add up, it's yours. He left her on behalf of her cheating because he caught her cheating. On top of her cheating, during her pregnancy, I'm going to tell y'all, the only bruise she had was on her cat, and that was herpes. That was herpes. She told my friend he gave her herpes. He said, I ain't never had an outbreak. I told him, don't let her do that to you. I said, go get tested. Go get checked. Guess what? He got checked. She was at the doctor's office, and guess what? They told her she had it. She had herpes, and he didn't. Meaning, where you got herpes from? She had it since she was young. She been busting her cat open, and she struggled from childhood traumas. That ain't no PTSD. Ain't nothing wrong with that lady. She wasn't even in the military long enough for to have no PTSD. She can claim that all she want. All y'all can run around here talking about domestics. Guess what? She didn't tell you she got about 4 or 5 other domestic violence cases that she done put on me and everybody she slept with. She just about said, but guess what? My friend died. My friend ain't have a record. All his stuff got thrown out because she lied. None of it was true. He let God fight his battles. He ain't even try to fight himself. He gave it to the hands of the Lord. He did. As much, I was angry. I was mad because I know how much his job and everything meant to him. You know, when you dedicate yourself on a career, and you've been working this place all your life and all you want to do is elevate, take care of yourself and your children, and somebody take that away, that hurts. And guess what she did? Kept calling the home office, talking about people people at the job doing it, let's just say that. But no, it was her. I said, don't be green all your life. Your last name green, but don't be green. I'm going to leave it to the Lord. You know, God got it. On top of that, okay, he found himself a barber, was taking him and her kids, because he only had one. His little boy wasn't even old enough to get his haircut yet, to the barber. So he's sitting at the barber. She come in, bring the children through the barber. Okay, now he made this his original barber. So he going to get his haircut. Look, she didn't know he was at the barbershop. The barbershop phone rang. He landed on the counter. He looked over. It's a nigga picture of this man's wife. A naked picture of his wife on a barber phone. So that means now you smashing a barber. And the barber was like, oh, well, yeah, man, you know, she came on to me. You know, you can't be mad at me. You need to be mad at her. All type of stuff like that. She ain't telling y'all that part. She ain't telling nobody none of that. She ain't telling nobody how she tried to accuse him of having herpes. She ain't telling nobody how she took him to them games and she was sleeping with every man up in there, all the coaches and stuff, and that's why she was playing under the little boy. She ain't telling nobody how she was a fire on the low, getting in front of that little boy naked, acting like she normal. No, she wasn't normal. No, she wasn't normal. She got mental issues. She craved attention. She ain't telling nobody how jealous she was. She didn't even want his family or nobody to be on the phone when she was around. She ain't telling nobody how she was a control freak. I call her wild hair ass Angelica. You know, Angelica off the Rugrats. That's how she was. Have a temper tantrum and shit don't go your way. When you get grown, everything don't work the way you want it to. Everything do not work the way you want it to. He loved her dirty drawers. He loved the ground she walked on. He did everything he can for her. It's a long list of people that she done slept with. Guess what? The church. She ain't telling nobody how they went to eat on this. They went on the dinner date. She seen one of her old military buddies, a female. She ain't telling nobody how the lady was grabbed her crotch from the back in front of my friend. And he asked her like, hey, what's she doing? She said, oh, we just military, but it's just not. No, it was somebody you was sleeping with too. Every time she had somebody else, she dogged my friend out. Every time he slept with somebody else, he let that old wicked ass church convince him to go back. Talking about work on your marriage. Because they go by the Old Testament. They want to sweep everything under the rug, them old country folks. That's what they do. Then they want to have the nerve to ask his mama, have you checked on her? This bitch that just this man, this lady's son. What she look like checking on her? Elba. I got a lot to say about Elba. Them antique folks. Yeah. How they mistreated my friend. How every time they had a pastor meeting, one of their little meetings, they little huddles, it was always something not right because y'all don't want to elevate the church. Y'all want to stay in that stagnant ass energy. I'm so angry right now, y'all. I can go on and on and on and on. Let's get up to when she killed my friend. Let's fast forward because it's so much go on. And so y'all, my friend needs justice. He put up with mental abuse. She used to get angry if they somewhere and people show him attention and don't, just wave at her cordially. For the people that gave her attention. And everybody know my friend block game was strong. His block game was strong. So this last time, she had to reach out through him, through them milk-bad church folks. Don't never let nobody tell y'all how to run y'all business. You the one got to deal with it. They on the outside looking in. They don't know what the hell going on. But guess what? Nobody ever knew this lady was the biggest hoe you could ever have. Gap her legs open to everybody. Like I said, and I'm going to keep saying, the only bruise she had was the herpes on her cat. That's the only bruise she had. Guess what? My friend and her ain't even sleep in the same room. Want me to tell you why? Because he didn't want to sleep with her because she was nasty. Because she was nasty. The only reason he was down was because of that little boy. Nobody knew that this lady, guess what? The first two, she treated them like son. When it came to him, she mistreated that little boy that he had by her. He told me how she shut him out, had him out there in the hallway hollering, and she laid up in the bed with the other two. But this your baby. Usually a person had a nurturing feeling for the young child. That's the only reason he kept going back, because she was mistreating the little boy. Anybody know, my friend know that he loved his kids. His baby said that she saved him. He saved her. He saved her. She watched somebody shoot her daddy and shut the door with a blank stare. Want me to tell you why? Because it was premeditated from the beginning. You stayed in the house for almost a year. You ain't never talked to your neighbors. Never said nothing to these folks. 2 months ago, I told her during my birthday time, you want to start back trying to reach out to him. You want to got doggone get the church folks. It's always the church folks for me. I get some churches mean well, but El Bazan, I'ma tell y'all y'all ain't worth two flips. Y'all sweep everything under the rug, act like ain't nothing going on, act like don't that happen, don't want to elevate. Y'all want to stay in the stagnant energy. And don't, guess what? People know y'all got y'all old pastor picture behind y'all, but guess what? Y'all had a new one. I guarantee y'all up in that whole hallelujah, singing all them old ass hymns, like y'all just so religious and high mighty, but you're not. Yeah, Shane gonna tell you today. I'm gonna tell you what my friend should have told y'all. That he should have told y'all to stay the hell out of his business. Every time you turn around, y'all nitpicking and begging him about that no good woman. Somebody that's sleeping with everybody. Somebody that's probably sleeping with the in the church. Want me to tell you why? Because she didn't care. Want me to tell you why? Because she was heartless. Want me to tell you why? Because she was broken from being her childhood. This lady been gapping her legs open since she was young. She ain't care about nobody. The first child daddy gave up his rights. Ain't want nothing to do with her. Signed the papers because he said she was crazy. Scared she gonna do something to him. The second child daddy in the military. Ain't had but 3 years to go. Was giving her $2,600. She was living all high mighty. Like she just bawling. Went buying a little boy nothing. Go on the Facebook page. Look at the shoes. The shoes them children had my friend bought. My friend bought. They can say she a good mother. Or all that. Y'all don't know how she talked to them children when y'all ain't around. But guess what Shan do? Because Shan was on the phone. Shan listen. Shan listen. When she went out that horn, my friend was at home with her boys. In his. Yeah. When she ain't come home until the middle of the night, out there drunk. Out there with different niggas coming home smell like ooh-wee. My friend was there with her boys. When them children were pissing the bed out, because they big kids. They still piss. They still piss. You ain't even got time to teach your children how to use the bathroom. When they was at home pissing the bed out, my friend was there changing the sheets. When they said they were hungry, my friend was there cooking them shit to eat. You know, it's funny because everybody can say what they want to say. They can try to justify it the way they want. When she lied and told everybody or went to the police, I'm going to tell y'all how that went because it was such a lie. My friend never hit him. He never hit him. He never hit him. She didn't tell y'all how she gave her gay friend out. Everybody know the queers love luxury. Everybody know my friend ain't had nothing but labels and name brand clothes. You know, he took care of himself too because he loved the person that God made him to be. My friend went from walking to a job for years. Went from getting him a little car, a Jeep that broke down in the woods when he went to get his girlfriend one time, to having nothing, to getting him a little putt-putt, to driving him a Benz. Work hard for everything. Ain't nobody give him nothing. He worked for it. He was determined to be something. He was determined to make people smile. He was determined to pray over people that couldn't pray for themselves. He was determined to deliver God a word to somebody. But guess what? People never pray or never press the share button on a sermon. But guess what? Y'all gonna press on some bullshit, though. Y'all gonna press when somebody say something negative, though. Guess what? When she said to DV, y'all heard, oh, he beat his wife. Guess what? He didn't do that. Want me to tell you why? I was on the phone. I was on the phone. Want me to tell y'all who told him to call the police? I did. Want me to tell y'all who's mad because he lost his job because he did the right thing? I was. Even though he sat there and prayed, and he was like, God gonna take care of me. It's gonna be okay. Everything gonna be all right. Guess what? I was mad. I fought it myself. Because my friend lost his job because I told him, don't go down there to that crazy woman. I said, call the police because she can do something to you. I told him that. I did. And guess what? When he got there, she already ran the story to him. He even left and they told him to come back. And they put my friend in jail. He never was prosecuted for it because she lied. She lied. He never argued with people saying that he whooped on his wife. He never did none of that. He took everything everybody had, and I was the one angry. I was the one angry. I fought it myself. I was mad because I told him to call the police thinking that the justice system was going to prevail in his favor. That lady was down there burning my friend clothes up. She gave all his Gucci bags, his Louis bags, all his name brand to her gay friend. And guess what? He still stood by her. Even after that, he left her for a minute. But the church, pray for your wife. Make your relationship work, pastor. About this, about that. Fuck y'all. What was y'all when he was going through this mental abuse? Guess what? He never slandered her. He never told nobody nothing negative about her. He ain't never tell nobody about the herpes. He ain't never tell nobody how she was cheating. He ain't never tell nobody none of that. Because he loved her. He loved her. But guess what? She ain't love him. She ain't love him. And this whole situation was premeditated. I'm going to tell y'all how I know. Because Shan was there. Shan know. Shan know. And I'm so hurt because I got receipts. I can show y'all the text messages. And I was asking him not to go back at first. I said, you doing good. You finally elevating. You finally starting to live life again. This lady was like a leech, like a succulent. Every time you turn around, you just try to take a piece of him. He ain't want nothing but for her to love him, for her to do right by him. But I'm going to tell y'all how it came up into these last past days. And I'm finna get up off here because I done said enough and I'm just upsetting myself even more and more. But that was the domestic violence victim, my friend that this woman murdered. Yeah, she killed him. She shot him in the eye in front of his child and shut the door on him like he was a piece of paper. And I'm going to tell you, as long as I knew my friend, he never, every time he was with, like I told y'all, he always was with the kids. Sunday, we talked every day for hours, like for real, hours. And you got 24 hours in a day. We gonna talk about 6 to 12 of them things. And everybody and their mama know it. We be laughing and everything. Like, I'm still in disbelief because it don't seem right. It's not fair. I thought I would have left before my friend, because my friend lived a righteous life. He was a real man of God. You know, and everybody know, get what? He get tired, you gonna block it. He ain't even finna block. That's what he gonna do, he gonna block it. He ain't even finna deal with you. But let's get to it. So, Sunday, I talked to my friend. The house was quiet. And I said, where the boys at? He said, oh, she took them down to her grandma's house. And I said, oh, be safe. I hope she ain't down there trying to kill you. Me and him laughed it off and joked. Nobody know that the lady down there doing little spells or whatever her little witchery is she do. Got eggs and shit hanging all over the house. Y'all Google the eggs over the while. And he took one of them eggs down one day. I gotta reflect back. He took one of them eggs down. And that lady had a fit. She had a fit. Do you hear me? Talking about keep the baby quiet and all type of stuff. She from a town called Adamville, y'all. It was a real true story on Lifetime about the witch from the city. And they got the witch standing up in the middle of the town hall and all type of stuff. So people like that, you can't trust anyway. And, okay, so that's what I said Sunday. That was the first time we talked. Second time we talked, she went off about him going to get his daughter. I ain't gonna say her name because she a child. But she went off about him going to get his daughter. And he was like, can you believe she mad because I'm going to get my daughter? Now, remind y'all, she been in the house for a year. She ain't started talking to the neighbors 2 months ago. 2 months ago, you start getting the people at the church, them low-down-ass people. Yeah, I said it. Y'all some low-down-ass people at that church. I know y'all secrets. And y'all keep playing, I'm going to air y'all ass out, too. So she had the people at the church talking about, work it out with your wife, or such, this and that. I feel them getting soft. I try to tell him not to go back because he been doing good. He finally elevated, started seeing the light, started, you know, feeling good about himself again, started getting his momentum and morale back, working for the funeral home, working at the church, doing his other little side hustles and his jugs and everything, feeling good about himself. I'm going to tell you, when the devil see you elevate, guess what? Everybody can't go where you going. When you walking up some steps, you're going to leave some steps behind. And guess what? When you continue to carry that weight, and I'm going to tell y'all what he did. He poured into her cup. He did. He was filling her cup up and emptying out his. And she sat there and watched his social media, prayed on him. Every time you turn around, she looking. She see him doing good, see him going back out to eat, see him going on his trips. And she's like a suckling. Guess what? She ain't like that. Let me tell you why. Because she was meals back home with them children. Them children she didn't want to put up with. The only reason she wanted to take his job because she thought he wasn't going to be able to stand on his own 2 toes. Because she wanted every piece of him to herself. She didn't want him to talk to nobody. Want him to talk to no females. Where she from, she was a little popular. But everybody know the Aquarius was popular. So when he went down there, he took her a little light. She ain't like that. She ain't like that. So now she feeling some type of way. Every time you turn around, you can find a reason to try to argue with him about something. She found a reason to try to argue with him about something. So let's go back into when she was mad about his baby. She was mad because he went and got his daughter. He said, well, it's Christmas time. I can't spend time with my child. Like, he loved his kids. So she was already mad about that. You know, she already tried to start a little argument about that. Come around to Monday. The heifer go to work. She take the little boy tablet out the house, his son. She took his tablet. So you took his tablet, but you knew the baby was at home. Why? Want me to tell y'all why? Because she wanted him to come to her job. He said, well, she told me to come to the job and pick it up. I said, nah, don't go to her job. That crazy hell. Why would she take his tablet and he at home? Why? You ain't take him to work? Why would you go get his tablet and take it to your job? Like, make it make sense. Want me to tell you why? Because she was premeditating the whole thing. And she wanted them to say he was already at her job starting shit. She did. So she took his tablet to the job. And I told him, I'm the one. Sharon the one told him not to go. I said, he'll be all right until she get off. Don't go to that job. He'll be all right until she get off. Yeah, I said that. And guess what? He listened, so he didn't. So, come around. We talked. We last Monday. And she was all mad. She kept trying to find stuff to nitpick and fight about. But people say people with mental illness, if you got a mental illness, you don't even supposed to have a firearm. Let's classify that and clear that up. You don't even supposed to have a firearm if you got mental illness or if you really PTSD. Who the hell saw your gun? Why you got a loaded gun in the house with children from the beginning on that part? So let's go ahead and say that too. Why wasn't it in the case or in the lockbox somewhere locked up? So, okay. So, after that, come around to Tuesday. Now, I remind y'all, I talk to my friend every day, multiple times. I'm at work. You know, she could stand because we talk, we laugh, and he gonna laugh loud because we laughing and we vibing. We on some whole other stuff, you know. That take his mind off the stress and frustration that she was putting him through. The mental abuse and the toll that was on his shoulder that he had to carry. Yeah, it took his mind away from all that. So it came around to, well, after that, this the day she decided to shoot my friend. So you already mad because the daughter there. You mad because the daughter there. What's her name on Facebook? Somebody know her name. Y'all put it up there because I ain't finna expose it. I ain't come on here for that part. But if y'all go on now, she on there probably watching. No telling where she at. I don't know if she in jail or not. But I'm telling y'all, y'all need to put y'all green up. We're going to do a balloon release for my friend. And we're going to have justice for the Aquarius. My friend was getting mental abuse. He was. He was getting verbally abused. He was. He was getting physical abused. He was. And guess what? Nobody ever knew it. There go her name right there. Nobody ever knew it. So let's go on back into the story. So it come around to the day where she killed him. Well, she shooting. She shot him. His daughter was there. The little girl she didn't want there. The little girl that she wouldn't speak to. Kids don't ask to be here. The same way he accept your child, more than right, he wants you to accept his. He did for yours. He took care of yours. And you don't want him to have his baby around? Want me to tell y'all why? Because she didn't want nobody around that can talk. That's why she took her kids, the two that can talk. Yeah, the little pissy two that tell everything. She didn't want them to tell on her. She didn't want them to tell the police. So guess what? She took them to her grandma's house. And she was mad because he brought his daughter there. Because she didn't want nobody there that can talk. She already premeditated this from when she was calling trying to get him back 2 months ago to where you stayed in the house a year and you didn't talk to your neighbor until 2 months ago. All of it was premeditated and planned from the beginning. There was her little plot to get him back up in there. But her whole plot was to kill him because she knew she didn't want nobody to have him because she couldn't have him. So that was her whole plan. So this little girl, my friend, baby, was there, y'all. I'm telling y'all, that's the person that's on my heart the most because I done been traumatized as a kid. I seen my brother and my cousin get killed when I was 9. And, you know, it's hard seeing something like that. And they got killed by a drunken driver. And this your daddy. And to her daddy is her hero because he saved her, you know. So my friend, despite him being shot in the eye, she tried to argue. Like I said, she been making up reasons to argue all week. May I remind y'all, the same person that shot my friend, this woman, called the police already. Anybody know the police gonna tell you to stay away, go sit down, don't come out, you know, stay out the way. But guess what? She ain't do that. She ain't do that. Guess what? He told Adeline, come on, let's go. Put this baby in the car. And this lady shot my friend in the eye in front of his child. Stood there, look, and shut her damn door. After you call the police, you telling me you go outside and you decided you just gonna shoot him, then you want to tell the police. You trying to do, no, bitch, you weren't trying to leave. Because anybody know, the Aquarius know that 9 times out of 10, when he put his children in the car, he ready to go. He finna ride. He finna go. And guess what? That's what he was doing. He was leaving. He was leaving. You didn't give him the opportunity because you was mad. Because you want everything your way. Guess what? He gave it your way. It ain't even McDonald's have it your way or Burger King, whatever the slogan is. Whatever the slogan is, it's not that. You was jealous. You didn't want him talking to nobody. You manipulative. You sneaky. You sleep with everybody. That's sad when you can't be in the town and half of the men you done slept with. I guarantee you there's some niggas on here right now that done smashed him. But this the first lady of y'all church, though. This the person y'all grabbing and hollering about being the first lady of the church, though. The first lady didn't even care about the church with her wild hair ass. She didn't care about the church. She didn't care about none of the people in the church. My friend used to get her to come into the church. Even when they had one of their ceremonies, you out there individually singing, not thanking people. When I went into the church, let me tell y'all this story. Look, it's so much. It's so much that happened within his last little 2 years with this helper. But like I said, he didn't do that because he only loved her. So that's why he never slandered her or told the truth. But let me tell y'all, I went to the church. Everybody, can somebody please put down there, what do the first lady sit in the church, y'all? Do anybody know where do the first lady sit in the church? I'm going to ask that question first. Can somebody tell me where the first lady sit at in the church? Okay. So, we all know the first lady sit on the front pew. Not Miss Dayay. So, let me tell you, I never spoke to her. In 2 years of her dating my friend, I never spoke to her. I wish she was here. I got the messages in my phone, making I might post a lot of shit that y'all need to go read. Because like I said, it could be a book. But let me tell you, so I go to the church when my friend got his church. I always go wherever he preach at. I'm going to go visit at least once. I might don't go twice, because I go to a lot of different churches. But this particular day, I'm in the church. Okay, I go visit. I had to go to Georgia because I was going to get my hair did by Benji, y'all. Yeah. So he was in Georgia at the time, and I was going to Georgia, but I had work that night, and everybody know we be working long shifts after I got out of church. After I got off work, I drove down to Elba. Let's talk about Elba. I drove down to Elba. So I go to Elba. I go inside the church. And everybody know I'm not going to sit on the front pew. I'm not going to sit in the middle because, you know, I usually go when I get out work and I might be, but I try to listen if it's a good word. My friend was a preacher, y'all. When I tell you that man could preach and he was spitting balls, we were preaching, so you be like, you know, like, don't mess it. But I got to do something to make myself laugh because I know he wouldn't want me up here crying. That's why I'm trying not to shed a tear. I done held a lot on back. So it go to the first lady sit on the first pew. Y'all, I kid, she was pure evil. I'm telling you, she was the devil. She the Antichrist. And look, that little face, it'll fool you with her wild ass, them toe-up ass lace fronts, and them thick ass messed up eyelashes that make her look like somebody Living of the Dead movie. But we gonna go back to the story. So I'm sitting there, and I sit back. Look, I feel, you know how you feel eerie? I get an eerie feeling. Not knowing that Miss Thing ain't outside. We gonna go about the church that she made him lose too. So I didn't know the lady was outside. And the hairs on the back of my neck started sticking up. And I'm like, maybe it's kind of cold in here, like everything pulling away from my arm and stuff. Like static. Like static. And if you're an anointed person and you really walk by faith and not by sight, because a lot of people don't understand when you pray, let go and let God, he made transformation happen. When I tell you, my hair on the back of my neck stood up and on my arm, the door opened. The ladies in Elba, they gonna cater to the first lady. She had the baby, she walked in. That's just how long it been, y'all. I went to the church once, and I'm telling you, something ain't right down there with them old hypocrites. Yeah, I called y'all hypocrites, and I'm gonna stand on what I say, because I'm about business when I say it, and I mean I'm gonna tell you the truth. So, I sat down and the first lady didn't go to the front. She sat right across from me. The whole time he was preaching. If you had positive intentions about anything that's going on in that church, you wouldn't be trying to seek attention for nobody. If you really was a woman of God, you would be up there with your husband. That was my friend. But because I never spoke to her, she tried to be intimidating. She tried to manipulate people. And she sat right across from me. And the whole time I'm sitting there looking and I'm clapping, you know, I'm tuned in. And I can feel her. And I see her out my parental vision. Just like if y'all do this, you see your head out your parental. Her face was just like this. Like, she on this side, I'm on this side. She sat right across from me. She was like. So, let me tell y'all what I did. The people in the church know I got up and left. So, if they see me, they gonna know my face. So, I was at the church, and she was over there just staring. She didn't even blink. And I had a real eerie feeling. So, I didn't want to get up in the midst of my friend preaching. So, I was like, you know, I was going to wait until they do, like, the collection plate officer, you know, offer or whatever, and donate my little money and get on up out of there. So, they had a break. That's my ice maker, y'all. So, they had a break. And she was a real wolf. She got a dark spirit, y'all. And if I'm telling y'all she got a dark spirit, she got a dark spirit. Don't let that light skin smile, you know, her fool you. Because when I tell you she evil, she hateful, she manipulative, she jealous. And she got insecurities. Closet full of clothes. But you burn my friends up. You know, why you burn your shit? You want to have temper tantrums? Tear your own stuff up. Don't go tear his stuff up. Tear your stuff up. So, let me tell you. So, it come around to, well, she's sitting down in the church. So, you know, usually when I leave out the church, I do this and go ahead and go. You know, Aquarius Lord to take pictures. Everybody know my friend. He gonna take a picture of somebody. You come see him. Lord, he gonna have to get a picture. Look, let me take a picture. So, he gonna get his picture. So, he's sitting down. And, you know, he come on down there. They had like a little break. I don't know if it was like a Sunday school break. The church a little weird because you have an hour service. Then y'all going into other stuff. You know, they're just being money home because you asked for money in this service. Now y'all want to ask for money again. You know, y'all ain't taking care of nobody but y'allself. Y'all got issues with everybody in the community but y'allself. You know, sometimes when you point a finger at people, you need to look at many. You point back at yourself. So I'm going to say it. So it go around to... Well, I tell him, I'm like, well, I got to go get my hair did. You know, I just got off work. And he's like, yeah, I understand. Let me tell y'all what this heifer do. So, she stood up in the middle of the aisle so I could walk by her. I went the other way and went on out to my car, and I just had to still the eerie little feeling. And I texted him. I said, buddy, you okay? And he said, man, let me tell you what she doing. You know, she was down my friend's throat. She chewed him out. She had a temper tantrum. She cussed him out. She called him every word in the book but a son of God. You was just sitting in these folks' church, being the first lady on the back pew. But then you chew him out. She cussed him out to shreds and said, your friend couldn't speak to me. I guess that's your woman too. Anytime a person accuses you of doing something, it's because they doing it. Anytime a person have negative intent on your heart, your life, I'm telling y'all, get the hell on. Pray for you before you start praying for somebody else. Heal you before you try to heal somebody else. She been sick since she was a child, mentally. Absent parents and absent situations and stuff going on with her. She told him that she was molested before when she was younger. You know, so you looking for that void. You trying to feel that void. You trying to feel that hunger. You trying to feel that urge that you got inside. So now you trying to justify this why you sleeping with everybody. Y'all meet. Because of the simple fact, you been hurt. But not one time did you take and think, I'm hurting him. Guess what? Not one time did he sit there and slander her name and tell nobody all this stuff that she been doing. He didn't tell nobody. Guess what? Even though the church was forcing him, he was uncomfortable. You know, they slept in 2 separate beds, you know, because she had herpes and shit. You know, he never slandered her name. Not once. Up until she even went in, you know, when she shot him in the eye, shut the door. My friend, y'all, was shot in the head. He was shot in the head. And he still managed to open the car door because it was on child lock to get his baby out the car to tell her to run to the neighbor's house. For this woman to sit there and tell the police, it was all premeditated 2 months ago. You didn't start talking to your neighbors 2 months ago. Want me to tell you why? Because you wanted them to say that you was a good person. But thank God the neighbor was smart enough to tell the police the truth and tell them how you got mental issues and you disturbed. And you got bipolar issues. You ain't never talked to them people in a whole year. 2 months when you get my friend to come back, you start talking to the neighbors. You didn't want his child to be there, but y'all been together how long? You ain't never drop your children off of your grandma's house. All of a sudden, the day you killing, you didn't drop your children off of your grandma's house. I made the joke to my friend. I said, I hope she ain't down there trying to kill you. And me and him started laughing. The whole time, get what? You was. You succeeded. But you gonna do some time. God ain't sleep. And karma do exist. And you gonna get yours. I ain't even saying nobody gonna do nothing to you. If you sit there and rot in jail all your life, you ain't even think about it. You took a man from his child. You took a brother from his siblings. You took a son from his parents. You took a pastor from his church. You took a friend. You ain't care about none of that. Now you want to holler victim. And I'm telling you, everybody that's running around saying, oh, yeah, he did this to her. I'm going to tell you what made me go live. Somebody told me today. They said, well, yeah, I heard such and such died. I said, well, yeah, he passed, you know. Then they said, well, you know, he had 3 V cases. I said, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Anybody get mad at you can go sign a warrant. Anybody get mad at you can go sign a warrant. That lady burned up that man's clothes. Gave his shit to her friend, her gay friend. So he had to deal with watching her gay friend watch his stuff. Forgave him. Took his stuff to the little green dump bins that be outside the stores. Donated, throwed all his clothes up in there. Made him lose his job. It wasn't good enough. She took his life and still lying. And then it's people like y'all. Yeah, I'm saying y'all, because I don't know who all on here, but it's somebody on here that's running around with, he got that messed up. No, he didn't. He never put his hands on her. The only scar she had was the scars on her cat. And I'm going to say it 2,000 times. The only scars she had was the scars on her cat from herpes. Yeah. Yeah. But y'all ain't know none of that, though. Y'all ain't know that my friend don't have a record. When he was in the hospital, he was under protective watch. He ain't have a record under an alias because he ain't have a record. But what y'all don't know is the person that y'all running around here protecting and talking about and making it seem like she a saint, she do. Wonder what she done did. Who she done did it to? That's questions that y'all need to ask yourself. While the church running around here asking, is anybody checked up on her? Hell no, we ain't checked up on her. I'm talking for the whole family and every friend and every co-worker, everybody he done been involved with. Y'all crazy ass check up on her. She probably sleeping with half of y'all husbands. Let me tell you why. That's what she do. She broke. She hurt. She tormented mentally. A hurt person don't know nothing but hurt. A hurt person don't know nothing but hurt. That's what they do. They be out to hurt people. They be out to hurt people. My friend can't tell his story, but Shan will. And for all the people that was running around saying that he whooped on this lady, he put his hands on this lady, y'all don't even know that lady beat herself up. He wouldn't even know. He wouldn't even know. Just like his child was in that house, she wouldn't even speak. This baby ain't got nothing to do with what you feeling. Her whole plan and motive from the beginning was feeling. You think she cared about an anniversary? The only thing she wanted, she got in his DM, is because he was popular, people liked him, and she wanted to become somebody bigger than what she is. That's the only reason why. Guess what? Y'all go on her page. She ain't wear her wedding ring. Guess what? I know where the wedding ring at. But guess what? My friend ain't never took his off. He loved her dirty draws. He loved them kids. He loved his children. She had, let me tell you, Saturday, she started trying to argue with him about a ring. Because he asked, like, why you don't know wear your ring? I was on the phone, I know. But guess what? He ain't never take his off. Despite how manipulative she was, how many niggas she ran across, how many people she slept. Guess what? When she supposed to came home from work, this lady ain't show. She ain't show. Them children was asleep when she came. She's coming out drunk. She even told the police that he was drunk. And guess what? Police see a light-skinned person, and she's smiling and playing the victim role and acting all hysterical. Whose side you think they took? But she was a liar. Ask me how I know. Because during the time she went out, my friend was on the phone with me. He didn't do nothing but pray for her. He was in the devil's den. And he still kept his faith. He used to tell me, you just need the faith the size of a mustard seed. The size of a mustard seed. All the way until he died. He prayed. He preached. But one thing about him, boy, he'll whip a scripture out on you. Blink of an eye. Look, you going to the Holy Ghost up and now, you know. So that's all I really wanted to say. And there's plenty of details. And guess what? I got all receipts. And anybody know receipts, I got them. I got them. I ain't come on here for no drama. I ain't come on here to feud with her folks. I don't do none of that. Where I'm from, we don't waste our oxygen. I'm not finna be with these incompetent, low vibrational people of hers, people on social media, everybody that want to lie. I'm not finna put up with it. I'm not finna say nothing. Let me tell you why, because I was there for the whole thing and I know the truth. She know I know the truth. I know every person my friend blocked. I know why he blocked them, when he blocked them, and how. I know everybody that he didn't deal with. Everybody that talked about him. And he never stood up and said nothing back to y'all. Want me to tell y'all why? Because he was a real man of God. Despite how hurt he used to be. I used to hear my friend. I know he was hurt. I was more mad about a lot of situations than he was. And he never gave up on his faith. He kept that Bible. He kept them scriptures in thought. No matter how many demons he ran across, he never gave up his faith. He never stopped praying. He never stopped filling people's cup up that wasn't deserved of it. All he did was know love. Want me to tell you why? Because God is love. I told him, your first intuition ain't nothing but God, because that's love. You ever did something and then you turn around like, dang, I knew I should have did that. Want me to tell you why? Because that was your intuition. Every time he got on here and prayed, he did his Wednesday in the Word. You ain't see 1.K1 people up in there. But guess what? Y'all gonna see him up in here for this. Y'all, love your people. Communicate with your people. Talk to your people. Don't let drama come in between what you know is right. Don't allow nobody to dictate who you are. Stand for something or fall for anything. My friend, the only victim he was is victim of loving a woman who didn't care enough to love him. The only victim he was is to domestic violence because she murdered him. He never told none of her secrets. He never was out to hurt her. He just loved her. He had faith in her. But don't go around trying to make a person out to be who you need them to be, accept them for who they truly are. When a person show you their true colors, you better listen. I ain't on here to preach to nobody. And I love all y'all. And we're going to do a balloon release, so please stay tuned. I hope half of y'all be up in that balloon release like y'all on here watching this. If not, send some condolences or something to his mother, his daughter. Pray for her. Pray for her. She lost her daddy. And she say, my dad, my hero. Look, he saved me. That man collapsed after he opened the door on the back of his seat with his eyes rolling in the back of his head. That baby saw all that. She witnessed all that. She witnessed somebody shoot her daddy in his eye. And then the only thing the police could keep questioning her is how you saw it. Through the damn windshield. How you think? She could see. So everybody that time about DV, yeah, it was a domestic dispute. But it went on her behalf. It was on my friend. It always have been. Men get violated too. Men get violated too. And that's what I don't like about the justice system is they quick to run to a woman need. And I'm a female. But when it comes to a man, they'll overlook it. They'll overlook it. Because it's a woman. No. A lot of y'all millennials and a lot of y'all women out there in today's time, y'all ain't like the grandmas and aunties back in the day. Y'all ain't like them, period. That's why a lot of young folks in their 30s are already grandmas. Because it ain't like it used to be. I'm just going to say it. Y'all be more verbally abusive and y'all more worse than a lot of these men out here. Y'all horrible. And as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, I pray for each and every last one of y'all. And I pray that this message reach somebody. So when y'all sit there and share and talk about my friend, that's what y'all need to talk about, how good of a father he was. How he saved his daughter for somebody that shot him in the head during the time he was shot in the eye. And I'm out of here.
You got to put yourself in other people's shoes. It just seems like you just had something really against my niece. It's praying time because there's kids involved. On both sides, and both families are hurting at the same time. It's a bad situation, but people got to understand, nobody know what goes behind closed doors. And don't nobody know what people go through. You got to put yourself in other people's shoes and see how they feel. Being abused and mistreated All of that is wrong at the same time. You know, it's really sad. And when I had found out, I was so hurt going down the road. Because, you know, sometimes you think you have people that you can talk to, but you really don't. That's why I say everybody that smiles in your face is not your friend. And all at the same time, don't nobody know what nobody goes through in life. Even on these jobs, when you get mistreated and when you get doing wrong and people just look at you like you crazy and you trying to defend your own self. Because I know what I have to deal with and what I have to go through is my word against their word on my job. But sometimes people, you just have to make peace everywhere you go. I just had to throw that out there and put that because I know my niece, she wouldn't hurt nobody. She loved kids and loved everybody else. And for everybody calling her all these kind of names, be careful how you put your mouth on people. Because one thing about me, her auntie know how to pray and God showed me stuff. So you got to be very careful how you put your mouth on folks. It's just like you had something, everything was talking about my niece, You should be just praying for both sides of the family, Tracy. Because it's really sad. It's a sad time. It's praying time. And people don't understand that. If you ain't got it in your heart right here, but you want to bash my nephews, them, and talk about them innocent kids. Them are innocent kids. And you put your mouth on them. I hope the hell you ain't got no kids. But it's sad. But for my niece, Quinteri, I love you. And I always been there for my niece ever since she was a little baby. And like I said, I'm praying for both sides of the family. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors and you don't know what the situation is, Miss Brown. But I'm not here to argue with nobody. But should nobody be trying to bash nobody and call nobody out? It's praying time, okay? And I'm just asking God to wrap his arms around both families at this time, especially the kids also as well.
At the end of the day, no matter who thought who was right and who was wrong, someone sadly lost their life. And also, there are children now who no longer have a father and a little girl who had to watch her dad take his last breath. It is very sad and it's very tragic. There's a church family who is now grieving the loss of their pastor. And even though they'll eventually get a new pastor, there's still going to be that void there, as well as for the children and all of the other extended family and friends. The children definitely deserve better. This will be a trauma that will be carried on throughout their life, and it's very sad to even think about. It is happening way too often, and too many young people are seeing a side of life they should never see. My thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved, and don't forget to let me know your thoughts. And also, don't forget to comment your prayers for everyone involved and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.